Next we shall start from the comparison between heat and work. Heat and work are both transit phenomena. The system don't possess heat or work when a system undergoes a change, that is heat transfer or work done may occur. Similarly, another comparison is both are boundary phenomenon. They are observed at the boundary of the system. And third one, the heat and work represent the energy crossing the boundary of the system. Next, we shall discuss the laws of thermodynamics. First, we shall discuss the zeroth law of thermodynamics, though it was invented later on. According to the zeroth law of thermodynamics, when the two systems are each in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then the two systems are also thermal equilibrium with one another. Suppose I have three systems A, B and C. Suppose A is thermally equilibrium with C and B is also thermally equilibrium with C. Then automatically A will be thermally equilibrium with B. So that is the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Next we shall discuss the first law of thermodynamics. It is the version of the laws of conservation of energy adopted for thermodynamic process. According to this, heat and mechanical work are mutually convertible. So the total amount of heat which we shall add to a system, that will be converted into some work and rest will be stored as the internal energy. So total amount of heat added is equal to Q, that is in kilojoule. Total amount of work done by the system is W in kilojoule, and the change in internal energy is delta U in kilojoule. So according to the first law, we can write Q is equal to W plus del U. The first law of thermodynamics can also be defined as the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be transferred from one form to the another form. Next, we shall discuss the second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics can be explained in two different manners. First one is your Kelvin-Planck statement and second one is your Clausius statement. According to the Kelvin-Planck statement, it is impossible to construct an engine working on a cyclic process whose sole purpose is to convert heat energy from a single thermal reservoir into a equivalent amount of work. Again, I am reading this. It is impossible to construct an engine working on a cyclic process whose sole purpose is to convert heat energy from a single thermal reservoir into an equivalent amount of work. This is very important. And same thing had been explained by the Clausius, that is Clausius statement. According to him, it is impossible for a self-acting machine working in a cyclic process to transfer heat from a body at lower temperature to a body at higher temperature without aid of external energy. Out of these two, first one is applicable for the heat engines, IC engines, and second one is applicable for refrigeration and air conditioning system. Next, we shall discuss the laws of perfect gases. First of all, what is a perfect gas? A perfect gas may be defined as a substance whose evaporation from liquid state is completed and strictly obeys all the gas laws under all conditions of temperature and pressure. So, the gas which obeys all the gas laws under all the conditions of temperature and pressure, that can be treated as a perfect gas. So, these laws includes some important laws like Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac law, and so on. According to the Boyle's law, it states that the absolute pressure of a given mass of a perfect gas varies inversely proportional to its volume when the temperature remains constant. So, according to Boyle's law, P is inversely proportional to volume V, keeping T is constant. So, equating the equation, P1 V1 will be equal to P2 V2 will be equal to PV will be equal to a constant. So, this is according to the Boyle's law. Similarly, according to the Charles' law, it states that the volume of a given mass of a perfect gas varies directly as its absolute temperature, keeping the pressure constant. That is, V is directly proportional to T, P remains constant, or volume is directly proportional to the temperature, keeping pressure remains constant. Equating the equation, V will be equal to V1 by T1 will be equal to V2 by T2 will be equal to V3 by T3 equal to V by T, that is equal to a constant. So, this is the Charles' law. Out of this, we got a conclusion and important notes. What is that? All the perfect gases changes its volume by 1 by 273rd of its original volume at 0 degree centigrade for every 1 degree centigrade. Change in temperature when pressure remains constant. So, volume gradually reduces. In each 1 degree reduction in temperature, the volume will reduce to 1 by 273rd of its original volume. Similarly, as above, the volume of the gas goes on decreasing by 1 by 273rd of its original volume at 0 degree centigrade for its 1 degree decrease in temperature. It is then obvious that at a temperature of minus 273 degree centigrade, the total volume of the gas would become the 0. You will see the equation. The temperature at which the volume of the gas becomes 0, it is called the absolute zero temperature. And this is very important. According to this, we can solve some more important problems.